Welcome to another edition of The Naked Truth, brought to you by Judicial Freedom Riders. My name is Ramon Roan, and
my name is John Singletary.
And today's topic, I've been waiting for this one here. I've been chomping at the bit. Black pastors. Now, all too often, we think of black pastors as Martin Luther King, and those kind of pastors back in the 60s that's actually really fought for civil rights. But today, we have black pastors.
And they did a lot of good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Most of our forward progress has been associated and connected with black pastors.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for a lot of our black pastors back in the 50s and 60s, even further back,
right,
we wouldn't be where we're at now.
Sure.
But where are they now? They got a program called Where Are They Now? Because I don't see the black pastors taking up issues as for the black economy. And there may be some black pastors, not all of you, but these major black pastors, I don't see them talking about the economy or doing anything about the economy. I don't see the black pastors talking about, look, there's some black pastors, they will not bring up talking about gay marriage or the gay lifestyle. Maybe because they got them in the pulpit and in the pews and in the choir. Because it seems like you're always going to have a choir director that's gay.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be.
Based on my faith and upbringing, homosexuality is something that is prohibited.
It's prohibited, right?
In the Bible,
right? But the thing about it is that you have African Americans that are suffering in this country. They're suffering right now, and you don't have there's no outcry. Look, I went to a black pastor when our situation with the with Nucor Steel. Okay, went to him. Can you help us? We need to get some kind of publicity about this. Oh no, we can't do that because we don't want to get political.
Well, a lot of times what happens is, previously, African American pastors were paid and supported by the church, and so they did not have the fear of their job leaving. They didn't have the fear of not being able to meet their needs because they were met by the African American community through being paid for being pastoring the church. Now we have a lot of part-time pastors who make their daily living outside of the church, and so they have to protect that. And so they don't feel that they can speak out for the church as they once did. Some of them who are actually being paid full-time by the church, refusing to speak out. Why? Because it ruffles feathers from a political standpoint, when the issue is not politics. The issue is whether or not we're receiving our fair share when it comes to contracts, when it comes to jobs. Those things translate into more being paid into the church, which is more available for them. And so I don't see why in the world we as a congregation as a whole will continually allow ourselves to be sold out by some of the African American pastors who refuse to deal with social issues, not political issues, social issues that affect us every single day.
I don't understand it. I look at it like this, is that there are pastors that are full-time. They're getting paid by their congregation. They don't have a second job. I know many of them. However, they are not going to put their neck out and to give you the truth. They're not going to do that.
No,
they're not going to do that. And they know the fact that, look, you got congregational members that are suffering from racism, and the black pastors are not doing anything. Now, on the black economy, on same subject, on the black economy, you think about this, is that if you got people working for Boeing or whoever the company may be, and they're at the lower end, because we know up the upper echelon they probably lily white, but on the bottom end, but the black pastors, they know this. They know it. It's not like they're immune to it. They know exactly what they're doing, but they're not doing anything about it. Or if they're doing anything, it's very little. They may speak about it. The other thing is that many black churches, they'll brag about that we don't owe nobody nothing. We're going to do a mortgage burning. And I often wonder, why aren't you telling the church, as a congregation, let's get debt free? let's have some economic independence. Why not help these your congregation, your members, create businesses,
Particularly black businesses.
Hey, particular black businesses. Look, when an individual, we got 1 million young men and women incarcerated in this country, and when they get out of jail, and you want to know why they're going to Islam or why they're not coming back to church, because the church, they don't have nothing to offer. You don't have nothing to offer. Yeah, we know. I know. Hey, look, I understand about salvation. I preach it all the time. However, you can't feed that person. You can't give them a job. And if think about it, if we had more churches that said, look here, in this congregation, let's start making black-owned businesses and help them. Like, look, John, you know how to write business plans.
Sure.
And so if you think about it, if you had churches that were very engaged in creating businesses, we would have our economy. We would be
Our
less
communities would be a lot better, would fare a lot better. Let's take, for instance, and I talk about North Charleston simply because I live in North Charleston. I know a little more about
it's a microcosm of the black community anyway. There are North Charlestons all over the country.
All over the country.
Yeah.
We're 48% of the population. We've got 2 of the largest churches in the city. I attend one. The 2 large churches are Mount Moriah and Royal. Now, Church of Christ on Azalea Avenue. If those 3 churches alone would get together, the amount of members that they have in those 3 churches alone is larger than the amount of people that vote for the mayor in the city. And so, why is it that we do not have never have had an African American mayor? If we can take 3 churches and collectively put them together, if they can get on the same page, think about the number of jobs and the change of the makeup that would happen in a city like North Charleston if we could just get three ministers to get together. Just 3 ministers. And then, of course, there are several other churches that will follow suit, because there is, not to say that it becomes a black town, because it's not. And that's not the point. The point is that when you have the opportunity to step in and interject some fairness into the situation, and in this case, by selecting an African American mayor, we had Hillary Douglas to run, who would have been excellent in the position, but yet we could not get the support for him. That was not only a slap in the face, that was just a disgrace.
Yeah, it was.
In a city that's predominantly African American.
Right.
And so we need those ministers to come together and to say, listen, how can we help our community be better? And one of the ways is that we take a look at our community, the position of mayor, and say, it's okay for us to take a look at, from a common sense standpoint, who is acting in the best interest of our people.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking superficially by putting in new sidewalks. I'm not talking about every now and then allowing you to have a permit to build something that you already have the right to build anyway, doing a few favors. I'm talking about true economic progress.
Right.
Capitalism within our community. Those are the kinds of things that we need to take a look at.
Now, black pastors they still are in need in our civil rights movement, because it still is a movement, John.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have the national kind of exposure leader that we had in King and even in Malcolm X, or even leaders such as Marcus
But
Garvey.
we've got so many examples from them that if we were to just follow the examples that they set, we could have kings all over the country.
Well,
And not allow, like, for instance, with North Charleston again, there was an influx of African Americans that was moved from the city of Charleston to North Charleston. As a result, we became a dominant population. But even with that, when we take a look at the zoning laws and how in the African American communities, one of the things they're doing in order to increase the constituency, for the mayor is that in African American communities, they are changing the zoning so that you can only put single family dwellings in African American communities. However, in predominantly white communities, they are allowing you to put multifamily.
Right.
So what that does is over a period of time, it changes the constituency base from black to white.
Right.
Those are the kinds of issues that our ministers should be addressing, in the community should hold them to task to say, hey, listen, how do we develop a strategy and deal with that?
Well, the thing about it is that if you have black churches, black pastors that would tackle this issue, it also increases the revenue that the churches would bring in, because if you have more black businesses, you can have more black, they lower the black unemployment, you can have possibility of having more blacks contribute more to the to the church. That's like that's like Reaganomics. Hello. We're talking about the
It's been associated with trickle down.
Trickle down. So.
And as Al Sharpton said, we didn't get the trickle, but we got the down.
All right, we can't go down. This part ain't the
we won't deal with that.
We won't talk about that, but this is you can always check these facts. Check it out yourself. You don't even have to check it out. Just think about what's going on today in our black churches. With the gay marriage issue, with the black economy issue. What are your pastors doing about it? Is he talking about it? Is he doing anything about it? So that's up to you. For us, this is our truth, and we call it the naked truth. John, you got anything else?
Just like to say, make sure you go to the website www.jfrinc.org. Starting July the 4th, we start a campaign for membership, $36 a year, and we're trying to get 1 million members in 1 year. Again, join, get involved, and we appreciate you listening in.
Thank you very much.
This has been another edition of The Naked Truth.
The Naked Truth.